Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing green 62. Green because it's just nothing but green cards. Why 62? Because I picked it up off of Aether Hub off of their MTG assistant list, and it promised me a 62% win rate. And I thought that sounds good. All right, so if a mono green aggro 62% win rate deck sounds good to you, stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host and part-time butt model to the stars, Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Film before a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub at 62% win rate. It's called Mono Green and posted by the MTGA-Assistant-Meta. Yeah, what I liked about this deck was that it had a lot of cool guys I'm familiar with before, Defiler of Vigor, Railway Brawler, Gruff Triplets. Then we had some new stuff in here. What was it talking about? It just seemed like there was some new stuff. Oh, Trash the Town. I've never seen that card before. Over the Edge. Well, I guess that's been around for a while, but no one ever plays with it. I hadn't seen that before. I haven't really played with this possum guy. Sure, he's a mana possum, and you can pump it. I'm cool with that. So yeah, we had a few new cards in here I hadn't seen before, and I'm always in the mood for a good mono green deck. So we're going to take this one out, and we're going to go cause some trouble. All right, so let's take a look at the cards real quick. We'll talk a little bit about how it works, and we'll go out and crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got? We got Creature Kill. We got Offspring, and then whenever an opponent targets one of my creatures, I think it is. Yeah, you put a Popo counter on a target creature you control, and you have multiple of these out. You're putting multiple Popo counters out. This guy can do a lot of fun, cool green stuff. What is it? 2 Popo counters on a target creature. Something gets trample. Or whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards. That's kind of cool for green. Goldvein Hydra, you just pump whatever you can into it, all the mana we can, at which point then it's that big. And when it gets that many Popo counters on it, and we'll talk about some good combos with it in a little bit. Let's see, this also gives you, if when it dies, you get that many treasure tokens. Cosmic Hunter is creature kill, Innkeeper talent. You put a Popo counter on something at the beginning of your combat. Anything with a Popo, with a counter on it has ward 1. So therefore, all your stuff's pretty much going to have ward on it pretty quick. And lastly, if you put one or more counters on something or somebody, you put twice that many counters on it. So there you go. There's your big thing. If you put out Goldvein Hydra for 5, you got this thing tuned up to level 3. It'll become a Goldvein Hydra for 10. 10! All right, Over the Edge destroys target artifact or enchantments, or you do some exploring. Quirion Beastcaller gets bigger every time you put a creature out, and then if it dies, you pass those counters on to other stuff. This guy has Offspring, but now he's just a mana boy or can pump himself up if you're doing nothing else with it. Putting Popo counters on it in the baby. Kami. If one or more counters we put on a permanent control, you put that much plus 1. So that's going to just increase the number of Popo counters being put around on things. And then if it's on, it can put out the amount of mana equal to this thing's power. So you kind of want to get some Popo counters on the Kami if you can help it. The Tumblewagg puts a Popo counter on something at the beginning of combat. If it's saddled up, you double the number of Popo counters on a target creature. It doesn't have to be the guy you saddled either. Be anybody. So you start slamming that onto like dudes with trample or something. Speaking of dudes with trample, here's Defiler of Vigor. Anytime you cast a green permanent, you put a Popo counter on each creature you control. As you can see, we got a theme here. We're putting Popo counters on everything. Railway Brawler, every time a creature comes into play, you put Popo counters on equal to that thing's power. So basically, you're doubling its power and essentially toughness, and as it comes into play. Plus, it's got reach and trample into itself. This guy comes into play, he'd be a 12/12. These guys come into play, they'll be 6/6s. if you got the Railway. If you happen to have this guy over here dialed up to Rail 3, then they'd be 9/9s. And then if any one of them dies, then you put 9 Popo counters onto the other 2, and you double it, making 18/18s on top of their existing 9/9s, making them into 27s or something like that. Anyways, it's just the amount of basic math you're doing with this deck, which the computer does for you, plus the amount of Popos you're putting around is just Nutsosaurus Rex. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to be laying our dudes out fast and hard. If you try to put dudes in the way, we'll use Cosmic Hunger and hard-hitting Question to try to clear the board. Keep our pressure going, increase the Popo counters, get our mana pumped up. Hopefully Kame Whispers will help with that. Get ourselves into some super big dudes and just let the good times roll. All right, so that's it. Now, before we go out and do some damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Sholdred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentations of the women. All right, playing against MenacingSand. We got over the edge, just destroys something. Let's just turn off the tree. 2. Hey, Cubert, there's some food for you. That's a good place to put it. No attacks. Beastcaller gets chewed up a little bit, but that's fine. I mean, it's singleton over onto the Kami. I4. So we could do 1, 2, 3, plus 4 by putting it on there and just going to town. We're not going to deal any damage. We have to put trample on there, so we need 5 for that. Oh, I see. We could have gone out the guys by tapping the Kami. I forget this guy's a mana boy. This guy's limited to 2. He just got his 3rd mana at all. I'm going to go ahead and put out the Defiler of Vigor. Reason why if I didn't want to get the Railway Brawler out and have him get totally toasted. There you go, good George. Good for you, man. Oh, I got it. I got 5. That's 5. I could do the rest of it. Let's triplets. That's the way. Now, board wipe, that's not great for us. If you were to do with a 3-point board wipe, we lose all the triplets at the same time. That would be bad. Now that I got them out, I'm all concerned. He kills any one of them in any particular order. The other ones just get stronger. That's what's fantastic about the Gruff Triplets. Yeah, he's just going after one. Oh, but it's an exile, isn't it? That's bad. I don't get the points for that. This little dude. Don't think I care. That's rough. All right, he can kill them both right now. I wonder if he's got the intelligence for that. He does. Good for him. No triplets. Oh, that was rough getting all those triplets out and then have them all picked off without any good pumpage. I see something I'm going to destroy. Corpse was lost, not that big of a deal here. I could do this one for... Oh, I can't? I gotta pay the full price for it, huh? Oh, there we go. Gone. I mean, he's got lots of, what are those called? Food tokens, so he can chew them up, but then he's just delaying the inevitable. He's not playing his cards. Then, yeah, he doesn't have anything in his hand worth playing, apparently. That's it. I just got to do 10. And we win! We got 12 showing. Victory! All right, we're playing against Sarg. It could be Sarge, but I expect the Sarge would be with an E at the end. Keep. Oh, what do we got? That's not helping out. 3's our first big hit. Going against this card is not going to be great. He'll probably just make me kill stuff. There's the pump. I'm just hoping I can just wind this guy down, but... And again, we need a 5th mana to proceed any further. He's just playing pure control at this point. Come on, 5th mana. There's the Defiler of Vigor. Does he have yet more creature to kill? He's that guy out. Hump! Let's give it to the guy who trample. That's the thing, is when you steal a card from somebody else, you just don't care about it as much as you do. Because it's not in your plans. It's just not in your plans at all. You just let it go. That guy is fantastic, and yet you totally just sacrificed him like a chump. Unfortunately, it's going to take us 2 more turns to be able to kill him. He's got 9, and we're only doing 8 per turn. I mean, you could try to put out a fish, but what's that going to do? Tiny Bones is good. All right, no more Tiny Bones. Oh, we got a whole nother one. All right, in we go. All right, he's got to have an answer on this next turn. He drew 2 cards. That's just mana. That's just treasure, right? You got Tiny Bones again. That's what he's hoping for. And this is where he gives up the game. Oh, he drew a card. And we win. Boom, boom, goes the room. Victory. We're playing against Watshou. Watshou, something like that. These guy cost 4 to put out as babies. Alright, so he is worth a color. He's a mana boy. Alright, we're going to put out our friend the Beastcaller because you can. Let's just go in for the attack. Pay for the full meal deal. I'll be looking at my stuff. Let's see if we can get out of this. All right, cool. Do you think he's going to drop any creatures anytime soon? I got a cosmic hunger for somebody's creatures. All in, baby cakes. There we go. That sucks getting exiled. I got his creature kill at this point. I'll take out the other while I'm at it. I got the mana for it. Yes! Now we take the 2 off what we can. We gotta slip into these guys while he doesn't have the opportunity. He exiles the board right now. I'll be space pissed. Alright, come on. Don't have an answer. Don't have an answer. It's time for you just to roll over on your back. Show me that belly. I think he's going to do something cool here. His exile, that'll suck. If you only take care of one guy, he's still taking 9 points of damage. If he destroys it, yeah, destroy, that's even better. Even better. That's 3 points across the board. And we win! It would have been better if you'd done nothing. Victory! Alright, playing against Fabean. Two mana. Interesting. Alright, we can play almost everything for 2. And we picked up a 3rd. Always good. All right, we'll pick up an additional plus on this guy, which pushes him up double plus. See if we could put this guy wide. All right, double possums. You're not going to like this next move. Here we go. Innkeeper's Talent. Over the edge. Kill off the best card in the entire world. Spread the wealth. And all in for 6. Let's give him some protection. There we go. Look at him ward up. That's an instant. There's a lot of things we could do at this point. These guys are going to get super pumped. All right, down 4. Let's double ward them. Innkeeper's Talent, doing Innkeeper's Talent does best. Because he could take out 1. I don't think he could take out 2. Famous last words. I don't have trample. What do I got there? 5, 6. I could do 5 at this. All right, there we go. That should pretty much do it. I'm fairly certain with basic math, this very much seems like I win Asaurus Rex. And we win! Boom, boom! Goes the room. All right, playing against Mage for you. You know, like down at the Mage rental store. 1-800 Mage for you when you need some wizardry now. These Beastcallers are always coming out early. Let's see what's next on your list, baby. All right, let's just Pawpatch it. All right, there's some strength. If he puts anything out, we could always just go to town on it with our removal, but yeah, the team doesn't seem to be really in favor of that kind of thing. All right, he's going to go for a shot again. No, he's just going poison on me here. Okay, he's not putting any creatures out. He doesn't have that kind of a deck. This is creature-less. Trying to figure out who you're going to kill. Pump it up. What just happened? Should have been a lot more than that. Ooh, we can hit something. We need 2 more mana from someplace. Not mana. Let's go explore. All right, it's down to 4. We got lethal next turn unless you do something about my creatures. All right, he's out of mana. And we got nothing. He just has to, he's going to totally be able to do it. He's got tons of card draw. Really going to let this one go, huh? He doesn't like that. Tell me, he can't be able to deal with that. I mean, our guy's going to die. That's good for him. He's going to lose the land over the deal. Oh, we won! Oh, ho, 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 we tapped it! Victory! We are with green 62. Why is it green 62? Because it was reported as having a 62% win rate. I did not get that high. I only got a 55% win rate. Still, it was pretty decent. It was a fun deck to play. It's just we didn't get Gruff Triplets as much as we wanted. Number one, because there was only 2 in here. Number 2, there was no card draw. It was just luck of the draw whether you're going to get it or not. And it's the most expensive card you got. But you do have the ability to get a little bit of a mana boost out of things like Kami of the Whispering Hopes. Yeah, it was a good deck. It was focused on getting out Popo counters. It did all right. Thing is everybody's playing with a lot of removal right now. Mono green creatures doesn't do very well against constant removal. Board wipes suck. And this thing doesn't grow that fast. So anyways, let's go ahead and run it down. Who was the MVP? Who was the most valuable player of this deck? I might actually just have to give it to the Kami of the Whispering Hopes. The reason why is because he had the best ability to potentially jump you up into the higher mana regions, which is what you really needed to be able to make everything else work. I mean, Defiler of Vigor and Railway Brawler, those guys are fantastic. This guy, they start pumping, they double the amount of Popo counters put onto things, or just whatever their power is, they get that on Popo counters, it doubles everything. Gruff Triplets, great. Problem is, this is what you're trying to get up to, and Kami of the Whispering Hopes is what lets you get there. Because we got a lot of low-end stuff, and it's just a matter of like Innkeeper's talent onto there. I mean, Innkeeper talent is just a freaking, hypercharged engine unto itself. I'm still going to give it to Kami. It's the one that you need the mana, not just the pumps. This is what's actually making this work. So I'm going to say, good job, Kami of the Whispering Hopes. You are today's MVP. Congratulations. All right, let's talk about this thing. Was this deck competitive? Not as competitive as I'd hoped it had been. They promised me 62, and I was much closer to 50% than 66%, right? Instead of losing 1 out of every 3 games, I'm losing 1 out of every other game, practically. Just barely above that to make it worth my while. So it was worth playing if the deck was fun, and it was a fun deck. All right, so competitive, enough, but not what most people consider to be a competitive deck. I wouldn't bother to try to take this on the ranked. You're just playing this because you enjoy the mechanics of the rest of the deck. All right, was this deck fun? I mean, look at that, 1, 2, 3. It is aggro as far as being able to get things out and do stuff. That's what was fantastic. I really did like the way that Pawpatch Recruit, I like playing with offspring so you could turn, 1 guy into 2 guys. That was important when you're playing against a lot of the removal because they could take out individual guys, but as long as you can outpace them, usually you did pretty well. And so those guys really helped to outpace. So this deck had a lot of tricks. It had some pumps. It had a lot of good trample. It was like the worst thing you was playing against was mono black because not only had direct creature removal, but you had a lot of discard. In between those two things, we got pegged down too hard multiple times. So I would say that mono black discard is this deck's kryptonite. But other than that, this deck does pretty well against a lot of different decks. I didn't play against red aggro at all. It wasn't a thing that came up. But this deck, with as low end as it is, would do a good job of putting up some blockers at least. We'd have to see how it goes. I mean, we could probably, if we got the right Cosmic Hunters and Hard-Hitting Question, we'd be able to nail their dudes. You just have to get lucky in getting these cards because you absolutely need them to be able to nail their creature base if you're playing against mono red aggro. All right, so anyways, was it a fun deck? Yeah, it was a very fun deck. There's a lot of great cards in here. You just needed to be able to have them and not be forced to discard them. All right, lastly, was this deck interesting? Yes. Why it was interesting? It had Gruff Triplets in it. That's pretty much the reason why I liked it. I mean, Railway Brawler is a good card, but I don't generally go for it just because it has Railway Brawler in there. I think if you try to combo with it, it's pretty decent, but I don't think this is really a combo-y kind of deck for it. There's some synergy in that, you're putting the stuff on it. If you got Innkeeper's talent dialed up to full, then you be putting twice as much, which makes each of your creatures like 3 times as strong as they normally start, which is fantastic. But that's expensive. But, that's what we're doing in green. It gives you a lot of things to play with. There's a lot of things to play with. And that's what's really cool with this particular utility mono green. Just that's what's so interesting and cool about this particular deck. There's just a lot of cool things to do. All right, so let's add that up. Was this deck competitive? Not nearly enough, but worth playing. Was this deck fun? Yes. Was it interesting? Yes. All right, so I'm going to give this deck an A-. Competitive goes a long way towards its grade. And because it was in the 50s, in the low 50s at that, I'm going to just give this thing an A-. So there you go, A- deck. If you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun with it as I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, screw you guys, I'm going home. Bye.